Hi, it's Quinby. This week's book is Heroes Die by Matthew Woodring Stover. Terrible title? Yeah, kind of. Terrible cover? Oh yeah, without a doubt. One of the best sci-fi fantasy action books ever written? Yes. So buckle up. Heroes Die is a Molotov cocktail of brutal fantasy and dystopian sci-fi that'll leave you breathless. It bursts out of the gate with a remorseless anti-hero, jaw-dropping world-building, and a thematic punch that digs deep into the nature of violence and storytelling. Hari Michaelson is Earth's most famous actor, not in the Hollywood sense, but as a participant in live broadcast adventures in a brutal fantasy realm called Overworld. There he is Caine, the Blade of Tyshel, a legendary assassin who embodies pure, raw violence that you can experience firsthand, as billions of people do. Caine's estranged wife, Pallas Rill, known on Earth as Shanna, disappears into Ankana, the heart of Overworld. Now Hari must go back in, face a tyrant emperor, navigate conspiracies on two worlds, and do it all for love. Hari, Caine, may be a killing machine, but he's tormented and complex. Pallas is smart, conflicted, and purposeful. The Emperor Milkov is a chilling antagonist. And Byrne, the psychopathic swordsman, is absolutely terrifying. Stover layers on critiques of media, control, and desensitization. Hari's brutal acts are entertainment for billions, forcing questions about morality, free will, and the price of spectacle. There are literally thousands of Earth actors inserted into Overworld, all of them vying for views, doing whatever it takes to rise above the froth and become a superstar. You heard that right. Whatever it takes. And no one on Overworld suspects that the cause of so much upheaval and bloodshed in their world is caused by these actiri. Until now. Readers and critics alike rave about the visceral, unrelenting action. Heroes Die fuses futuristic dystopia, rigid casts, overpopulated, corporate-ruled Earth with epic sword and sorcery fantasy, teleporting readers through POV shifts and mind-melding narrative styles so fast it'll make your head spin. Heroes Die is the first book in the Acts of Caine series. Each book is different from the last and plunges the reader deeper into both worlds, Earth and Overworld, and the monumental changes both undergo when the actiri and their manipulations come to light. Here is a sample. I suppose I would have had to do this anyway. You're only making it a little easier. He rises like an old man and goes to the chamber door, with a brief glance of something like regret over his shoulder at me. He shoots the bolt and swings the door open. Thank you for waiting, Your Grace. Caine is here. 6 men in the blue and gold tunics of the King's Eyes, dress livery, filed into the room, short swords slung at their waists along with identical daggers. As they come in, they crank back with a crossfoot mechanism on small, compact crossbows and load steel quarrels into the bolts. The 7th is an ordinary-looking man with mouse-brown hair, who wears a stylish burgundy velvet blouse with a baldric of gleaming white silk. He offers the corner shrine a cursory nod as he clears the door. The slim jeweled sword that depends from his baldric appears purely ceremonial, and from his hand dangles a bulging drawstring purse of black velvet. My head price, no doubt. Creel, I say. I've said some bad things about you in my time, and thought worse, but I'd have never believed you'd give me up. He doesn't even have the grace to be embarrassed. I told you, he says. We're going to help Milkoth every way we can. The man in velvet steps forward. I am Toa Saito, the Duke of Public Order, and you, Caine, are my prisoner. I get out of my chair quickly enough to make the friars behind me heft their staves, and the King's Eyes close into a defensive screen before their duke. I don't have time for this. Toa Saito says blandly, Your time is mine. I am pledged to deliver you to Milkoth, and I will do it. I spare him not so much as a glance. My eyes are only for Creel. I step over to him, close enough to see the soot-clogged pores of his nose, to see the black squidding caked in the seal of mastery. You know, there's nothing more dangerous than an intellectual with power, I say in a light and conversational tone, as though we were back arguing over a jug of wine at Garth and Hold. He can rationalize any crime, and he's certainly not going to let abstractions like justice, loyalty, or honor get in his way. Creel flushes just a little. Oh, grow up, will you? You knew this could happen. We can't let you endanger Milecoth. Fuck Milecoth, I say mildly, courting Byrne with a tiny disbelieving smile. This is between you and me. Caine, you have violated sanctuary, Creel. I am sanctuaried here, and you delivered me into the hands of my enemies. You know the penalty. Did you really think I wouldn't kill you for this? He sighs almost contemptuously, his eyes flicking toward the 4 friars and the 6 kings' eyes. I hardly think I'm in much danger, Caine. If you know what the edge of my hand cuts off the rest of his sentence. A forehand chop across the bridge of his nose. The sudden stunning shock unstrings his limbs and slackens the muscles in his neck. I get my hands on his head. A sharp twist. His cervical vertebrae separate with a wet driftwood squelch and slice into his spinal cord. Before anyone else in the room can move, he flops, kicking and convulsing, to the floor. I say into the blank silence, and here I thought I'd get through the whole day without killing anyone. Caine is written in the first person when the protagonist assumes the Caine persona on Overworld. On Earth, as Hari Michaelson, he is written in the third person. It is quite an impressive feat of wordsmithing that Stover pulls this off so seamlessly. We, the readers, are moved back and forth between what are essentially 2 protagonists that slowly become one. Heroes Die is massive in ambition and delivers on it. It's gritty, cerebral, and explosively fun. The fact that Stover is himself a highly trained martial artist adds that touch of verisimilitude that cannot be faked. Even the hype undersells how deep and thrilling this trip is. Heroes Die is as intellectually sharp as it is savage, a slam-bang must-read. Prepare to be shaken, awed, and utterly hooked. Rest assured I'll be covering the other 3 books in the series in future videos. That's it for this week. This is Quinby Delicious signing off. See you in the next video.